Some relationships explode. Most dissolve, not with a slam door or a final text, but with a long pause that never ends. A message you meant to send but didn't. A call they expected but you postponed. And before you know it, they've become someone you only think about when a certain song plays or when you scroll past an old photo. The decay of relationships isn't dramatic, it's quiet. It begins when we stop showing up, when we assume they'll always be there, when we forget that people need more than love. They need to feel seen. This is not a list of tips, it's a reminder of how to build something sacred before life pulls it away from you. Let's begin. Strong relationships are not built with confessions or declarations. They're built in the margins of ordinary days, in the attention you give when there's no reason to give it, in the way you remember what matters to them even when they never reminded you. Think of Theodore Roosevelt, the larger-than-life president, a man of action, but also of quiet, deliberate attention. He learned and remembered the names of every staff member in the White House, not just their names, but their stories, their children, their lives. To him, leadership was personal, because every relationship is, especially the ones we're tempted to overlook. In your own life, think about it. Do you know your friend's biggest fear? Do you remember what they mentioned 3 months ago in passing? The book they loved? The city they miss? The thing they're afraid to admit? Presence isn't about proximity. It's about attention. It's about making someone feel like they're not one of many, but the only one in that moment. Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera had a relationship filled with chaos, but also with rituals of care. Frida, often bedridden in pain, would still find a way to paint while lying down, and Diego would adjust his own painting time to sit beside her. No words exchanged, just presence, just, I'm here, and that matters. Presence says, even when I'm busy, I see you. Even when you're quiet, I feel you. Even when nothing is said, you still matter. Most relationships don't end because of hate. They end because people stop noticing each other. And the moment someone stops feeling visible, they start disappearing. There is no true connection without risk. You cannot stay safe and be seen at the same time. And the longer you wear the mask, the more your relationships become performances. Abraham Lincoln, by every account, was a man tormented by doubt. He faced depression, he feared inadequacy, but he didn't hide it. He confided in those around him, his generals, his advisors, even the public through his speeches. He was not strong because he lacked fear. He was strong because he revealed it and still acted. His relationship with Edwin Stanton began in contempt. Stanton mocked Lincoln for his appearance, his awkward mannerisms. But as Lincoln opened his mind, revealed his uncertainty, and welcomed disagreement with grace, Stanton began to trust him. Respect grew not from dominance, but from openness. That's how real trust forms. Not when you impress someone, but when you show them something unpolished. Yet most people hide. We tell half-truths. We say, I'm fine, when what we really mean is, I'm scared, I feel alone, I don't know what I'm doing. But here's the secret. People don't fall in love with your perfection. They fall in love with the parts you're scared to show. Friendships grow when you say, I don't know how to fix it, but I'll sit with you in the dark. Partnerships deepen when you confess, this scares me, but I want to face it with you. Even leadership earns loyalty when it says, I need your help. I don't have all the answers. Hiding your weakness won't protect you. It'll isolate you. Because people bond in the broken places. They connect when they realize you bleed too. We often confuse control with care. We want the people we love close. We want them available. responsive, predictable, and yet what people actually need is the freedom to disappear without losing the connection. Johnny Ive, Apple's design visionary, worked for years under Steve Jobs. Jobs was intense, demanding, brilliant. But what made their relationship powerful wasn't Jobs' ideas. It was the space he gave Ive to explore, experiment, and fail. Jobs once said, "We don't hire smart people to tell them what to do. We hire smart people so they can tell us what to do." That kind of space builds trust, not just in teams, but in any bond. It says, "I don't need to micromanage you to love you. I trust you enough to let you be." When we demand closeness at all times, we don't build intimacy. We create dependency. We suffocate. Consider a healthy forest. Each tree stands on its own, but the roots are intertwined beneath the surface. There's space, but there's connection. Let your friends go weeks without a call. Let your partner take the trip alone. Let your sibling go silent for a while. But when they return, be the place they know is always open. No guilt, no passive aggression, just welcome. Because if you require someone's constant presence to feel loved, then what you've built isn't trust, it's a cage. Everyone wants to be there during the party. Very few stay during the cleanup. Real relationships are forged not in joy, but in disappointment, tension, pain. Nelson Mandela didn't build unity through charm. He built it by staying in the room, by not flinching when conversations turned hard, by sitting face to face with the men who imprisoned him for 27 years. He chose a dialogue over vengeance, not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. And that's what relationships demand. You don't leave because it's hard. You stay because it's real. In every meaningful bond, there will come a moment when the other person fails you. They'll forget. They'll snap. They'll say something they regret. And your instinct might be to walk, to punish, to withdraw. But the strongest bonds aren't the ones that avoid conflict. They're the ones that survive it. Staying doesn't mean tolerating abuse. It means leaning in when discomfort arises, having the hard conversations, admitting your own flaws, and choosing to rebuild rather than replace. In a world where everything is disposable, loyalty becomes revolutionary. When something goes wrong, most people rush to assign blame. We think understanding comes later, after we fix the problem. But true connection begins with seeking to understand first. Martin Luther King Jr. walked into rooms where he was hated, but he listened. He let others speak their fear. He didn't respond with fury. He responded with context. He made people feel heard, and in return, he opened minds. That's the foundation of empathy. Not agreement, but presence in another person's reality. How many fights in your life started not because of what happened, but because of how it was interpreted? How many relationships fractured because no one paused to ask, what else might be going on here? When your friend cancels for the third time, don't assume they don't care. When your partner is distant, don't assume they're falling out of love. Ask, listen, look closer. Most people are carrying things they've never spoken out loud. And the moment you judge before you understand, you push them deeper into silence. Understanding is the bridge. Everything else is noise. We reward the visible, but most of what sustains a relationship lives in the unseen. The message sent despite exhaustion, the forgiveness offered without being asked, the patience held in silence. Vincent van Gogh died poor, forgotten by the world, but his brother Theo stayed. Through breakdowns, through exile, through poverty, Theo funded his work, wrote him letters every week, Not because Vincent was successful, but because he saw the effort no one else did. There are people in your life right now doing their best in ways that are invisible to everyone else. They're showing up, even if awkwardly. They're trying, even if imperfectly. Recognize it. Say it out loud. I see what you're doing, and it matters. People don't need perfection. They need to know their effort is not wasted. The true test of loyalty isn't how you act when they're beside you. It's how you speak of them when they're not. When Leonardo da Vinci died, his student Francesco Melzi didn't vanish. He collected Leonardo's scattered notes, protected his unfinished work, and preserved his legacy. Not for praise, but because that's what loyalty is. Showing up when the world has turned its back. Loyalty is when someone's name comes up and you defend them even if they'll never hear about it. Loyalty is staying connected even in absence, not through obligation, but through quiet devotion. We all have people who left, some by choice, some by distance. But ask yourself, did you let them go with grace? Did you honor their memory, or did you curse their absence? Because real love does not die in absence. It lives in the way you carry them even when you're alone. In the end, you won't remember every word they said, but you'll remember how they made you feel. Safe, held, understood, forgiven. You won't need 100 people. You'll need a few, built with care, silence, sacrifice, and truth. Strong relationships are not stumbled into. They are sculpted like statues, chipped away piece by piece over time. And the only question left is this: are you sculpting something timeless or waiting for it to magically appear?